Welcome and hello. My name's Dana, and if you're new to American Mah Jongg, you're in exactly the right place. This video is about giving you a clear, steady foundation before all the extras come into play. So before you start playing, there is a foundation you need first, and that foundation comes from one source, and that is the National Mahjong League. Right now, there are many playing cards, adaptations, and creative versions circulating that are not issued by the National Mahjong League. Some are fun, some are clever, and some are well-intentioned. But for a new player, they create confusion before confidence ever has a chance to grow. American Mahjong is a standardized game. The National Mahjong League card defines the legal hands. The National Mahjong League rules define how the game is played, and house rules, while common, are local agreements, not the game itself. So today, we're stripping things back to basics, not because the extras are bad, but because you deserve a clear starting point. Once you understand the official structure, you can adapt intelligently. But without that foundation, everything else becomes noise. And I say this because I have seen on Facebook newcomers asking, what card should I start with? Where should I start with the playing cards? And my answer to that is you start with this one. And like I said, it's not the other ones are bad, but with the foundation of the National Mahjong League, you can play anywhere and you can make your decisions with intelligence. Here is a fun fact that every other year, the color of the card changes. So for the odd years, such as this year, 2025, it's blue. Next year, the card for 2026 will be red. Here's an example. I just pulled out the 2008 card, and it's red because it's an even year. And this is just a quick little glimpse into what these hands look like. So if you want to pause the video and take a closer look, be my guest. I always like looking at old hands. So this is the 2028 card. And of course, just a reminder, your rules are on the back. So a lot of times, your basic questions can be answered if you just turn the card over and look on the back. So, and again, here's the 2025 card with the rules and updated rules. So the newer cards, of course, have the updated rules. So the other thing I wanted to show you guys was I use plastic covers for my cards, and they stay really nice all year, and they're water, proof to a certain extent, because they fold over. This is a closed end, and then this end here folds over, and they're very clear. There's nothing obscure. They're not cloudy at all. So this is the next thing that I believe not just newer players or beginner players, but all players really need to have. This is the National Mahjong League rulebook, and it's called Mahjong Made Easy. And I believe they said they were going to have an updated version this year. So this just goes into everything: the suits, how to play the game, the Charleston, the procedure, the object of the game, second Charleston, optional pass. And I just want to remind everybody that the game actually starts after the Charleston. The game is not in the Charleston. So the game begins when East throws out their first tile. And that's important to know in certain situations. So this is the book. It will expand on what's on the back of the cards. So if you need further explanation, this is the book that you need to go to for more information in regard to a rule or penalties or what to do in certain situations. Talks about two-handed mahjong, three-handed, four-handed, five-handed, six-handed, playing with cards. I have cards later in this video, which I will be showing you. And then it also reminders and helpful hints and explanation of terms and use. So the other thing I wanted to mention during this time is Michele Frizzell has a wiki, it's like a wiki page where you can type in your question, and what will come up is an in-depth answer according to the National Mahjong League. Her website is called Mahjlife, and I will put a link to that here in the description, and I will put a pop-up as well. But she does a really great job explaining everything, as well as separating out house rules from National Mahjong League rules. That can be confusing for new players if they are taught house rules along with National Mahjong League rules. It can be difficult. you easily forget what's a house rule and what's just the basic National Mahjong League rules. That's why I am a proponent for learning the basics first and then expanding from there. And we have this book here, which I really like for the new player. This is not from the American Mah Jongg League. This is by Greg Swain and Toby Salk. And these two folks know what they're talking about. This is a great book for everybody. They follow the rule, they know the rules, they teach the rule, and it's really beautiful. So first they start with the history, which I think is also really important. They describe the tiles, but look how nice the illustration is. They're not confusing. It's easy to read. They're easy to comprehend. They have cute little illustrations here. They describe the Charleston. I like this book. It's just a fun book to look at and a fun book to read. And they also have quizzes and answers, which are helpful. They have little blurbs from Greg, little blurbs from Toby. So I highly recommend this book. I love this book. This is a great book for new players. There's no fluff. There's no extra house rules. This is just about how to play and understand the game of Mahjong. And then the last book for beginners I really like is Mahjong by Annalise Hines. And you can find her on YouTube, on the internet. She's got several lectures, but she goes through the history of Mahjong, which is really interesting. From the beginning to when it became a very strong part of Jewish culture. It's just a very interesting book. It's also in audiobooks. And so that's how I've listened to this through audiobooks a couple times. I have a tendency to be a history nerd. I love to do deep dives, and I love to teach people too. So I really like this book. This book is accurate. She knows what she's talking about again. So this is great for newcomers. So you can understand the tiles, understand why things are certain things, and why it's important to keep tradition. I also wanted to show you this. These are the cards from the National Mahjong League. They have this on their website. And I really like these cards because they're large enough, but they also have just regular cards. Doesn't matter which way they're turned, you can tell what the card is. So I'll pull them out and show you. So you have everything here that you would have in a tile set, just in the form of cards. They're laminated, so they feel like they're tough. They're not paper. Well, they're paper, but they're laminated. So this is what they look like. They're easy to read. The cracks, the BAMs, whoops. Let's see, the dot, north, the winds are easily identifiable. So here's the jokers. Jokers are easily identifiable. So these are great cards to practice with and to travel with if tiles aren't practical to travel with. So this is what they look like. I get these card holders from Amazon. They're all over. And you can play Siamese Mahjong easily because each row easily fits 13 tiles to 14 tiles. So you can have your 2 rows here. 2 of these come in a pack. So if you want to play with 4 and you want one of these, you'll need to get 2 packs. We also use there are these card holders that hold the deck of cards. I think usually for canasta and maybe bridge or other card games, they use them so that your cards stay neat. And these card holders also can rotate too. So those are the things, like if I'm playing in bed or something like that, we'll use this. I haven't used these for travel because I've been able to take tiles for travel, but this is a great alternative. Also to practice making the hands too. You can practice making the hands from the cards, so you learn that with these. So anyhow, I highly recommend them. I think the National Mahjong League is the best place to get them. I was going to do a video on the different cards because I have other cards too. But for you new folks, even seasoned folks, these are the easiest cards to read and understand and hold. So thank you so much for watching this video. I really do appreciate it, and I appreciate all of you. So these are my basic recommendations if you're a new player. Be sure to learn or start with the National Mahjong League playing card before you get into other playing cards. Also, be sure you get the rule book from the National Mahjong League called Mahjong Made Easy. And then, of course, for supplements, American Mah Jongg for Everyone, the Complete Beginner's Guide. Again, I love this book. And than to know your history, deep dive into history, Mahjong. I strongly recommend the audio book. It's narrated really well and it's really interesting. I'll put it on if I'm cleaning or just doing something else. It's a really nice listen to and understandable. So thank you again, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.